Hey guys, Craig McCormick here from DestructivePixels.com, and today I'm going to be doing my first impressions of the Peak Design Kit, which I unboxed yesterday. I played around with it overnight. I have a couple of pluses and minuses that I have for the kit, so let's jump into this video. Alright, so as I said, I had a chance to play around with this last night and most of today, and let's jump into the PROplate, the first thing here. I do like the fact that it's a lot wider than the original. Wow, sun's coming bright. So, the original plate is this little square here, and I'll just show it here. And this is the new one. It's a lot wider, which it feels much more secure when it's on the camera. I took it off so I could show you guys here, but I have had it on the camera itself, and it does feel more secure. It feels more substantial. But they've changed the design a little bit from the original here. And the original capture plate, which came with the Capture Pro clip system here, the plate that came with it used to have to tie these anchors, these little string anchor things here, used to actually tie them to the top here. They've got 4 little loops here on the top of the plate. And they've actually changed it now where you're actually attaching it to the bottom of this plate. Now it seems like a good idea because the strings were pushing up against the cameras and it was making them a little bit hard to get in and out or change or even add in the first place. But what I found, and this is one of my biggest problems with this new PROplate system, is that when you've got these strings in, it potentially can add quite a lot of width to the anchors here, to the actual bit that goes inside your tripod in your ball head. And I even noticed it when playing around with the plate itself, because I've got these 2 anchors on here. And when you're sliding it in, unless you are making sure on where you're putting these, they can get in the way of actually going inside the system. Granted, if you put it the other way, it will go in, but that basically means that you can't use all 4 anchor points. So it kind of also defeats the purpose of the plate in the design system altogether, because these plates are meant to be able to go in whichever direction you want them. And by putting these anchors in, it does actually limit where you can, or what angle or what direction you can put the plate into. It does feel like a bit of a, not design flaw, but it's a problem and it's a potential issue for me. I will play around with it more. I'm going to be using this kit for the next few weeks, and I want to try it a bit more. You do kind of have to fiddle it and kind of get it out of the way, especially when you're putting it on a tripod. I did find that last night. Mounting it inside the tripod made it kind of difficult and a bit of a pain in the arse. So what I'm ending up doing here is I'll keep it for a little bit, but I'm not super convinced by the anchor design system. And one other little thing here. On the original plate, when you're attaching it to the camera itself, to the little screw thread here underneath the cameras, you used to have a little handle which you could pop up to twist it, or you could use the Allen keys that came with it. But with the new PROplate, you just have to use the Allen key. So unless you have the Allen key with you, you might be a little bit stuffed if you want to tighten it. Each of these kits, it is worth saying, does come with an Allen key, and they're all the same size, which is a bit of a problem because now I have 5 new Allen keys. It's not like I don't have enough Allen keys to begin with. So I would have liked just having 1 for all of them, but it's cool that you've got 1 for each of them. It's absolutely fine. It's just a small little nitpicky thing, but you will have to make sure that you carry a little Allen key around with you to tighten this up if it does ever get loose, because I think potentially it might get a little bit loose with pulling on and off the anchors and all the different straps and stuff like that. So that's the PROplate. There's some pluses and negatives about it. I like that it's wider, but I think these anchor design systems will potentially get in the way, but we'll see in the future. For the clutch, I have to say I'm a little disappointed by this. Originally, I remember seeing some designs. I could be wrong about this. I do know that they originally planned on the anchors, using anchors on both the top and the bottom of the clutch design. I do know because I remember I looked up online last night because I was sure that they used these anchoring systems. And those that don't know, you have these little pods here. You have your anchors, your little strings at the bottom of the camera. Push it in, you push down, you lock it in, and it's not going anywhere. And that's how it kind of attaches to the camera itself. But that's only for the bottom of the clutch strap. And the top, it has this stupid little, like, fake leather strap thing, which is a pain to get off. And then you've got to thread that through the holes on the sides of the camera and then bring it back around, loop it, and then use this little anchoring system. Let's just say it's fiddly. And it's a little bit disappointing because I wanted to be able to switch the hand grip, the clutch and the slide, which we'll get onto in a minute. These use the same anchor points as well. So I was hoping to be able to just switch these two systems in and out, because sometimes you want a strap and sometimes you just want to be able to hold it with your hand. Not the end of the world. I can kind of keep it on the camera because it's a little bit less intrusive than my original strap here. This is my neoprene strap, which I've used for like a good year now, and it's really nice. I do like it, and the fact that you can again detach it, that's kind of why I got quite interested when I saw Peak Design had this whole anchoring lock system, because it's pretty much the same idea in principle. But I like this because it kind of goes behind the wrist, and if I drop it, it feels a little bit secure. And that is where I personally feel this kind of falls down a little bit, pardon the pun, because it doesn't feel all that secure when you've got it on the camera, and it's really quite tight. You can loosen it up, because obviously it's very easy. I mean, give them credit, they've designed it well, where you can tighten and loosen the strap very quickly. But it doesn't feel like it's assisting in holding the camera or gripping it, or like a fail-safe. I mean, this is really what you kind of want this clutch system as a fail-safe, and it just doesn't feel like a fail-safe. When it's tight, it's actually constraining. You can't reach your thumb to touch the buttons on the back of your camera. To reach the shutter button, you feel like you're contorting your fingers. It's very strange. It's quite unforgiving. And then when you loosen up to be able to move it around, it doesn't feel secure. It feels like your camera will fall off your hand. And that's a bit of a shame for me, but it does turn out that Peak Design actually have something very similar to this that does use the anchor points. It's called the cuff. And I will be ordering that very soon, because I kind of prefer that system where it wraps around your wrist. And this does literally wrap around your wrist. It uses one anchor. It looks like a very cool system, because I want a fail-safe. I want something that in case someone knocks me or I drop it, I can still go, oh, and then it's still safe, where this doesn't feel all that safe. And one final last thing, it's quite tough feeling. Again, it might just be that I need time just to use it, and I can just soften it up over time, but it does feel a little bit tough to begin with. But again, it's well designed. Give them credit for that. It's very well designed, but it just doesn't meet my expectations for what I thought it was going to be. So a little bit disappointing, but it's not a bad product. If you just want something to add extra grip for your hand, that's totally fine. On to the slide system. I really like this. I really like this a lot. Start off with the fabric itself. I mentioned in my unboxing video, the reason I got rid of my normal Canon strap was because I hated the fabric, I hated the look of it. This looks very stealthy, it's unobtrusive, it's not in your face, it doesn't have big logos or anything like that on it. But the fabric is great. I remember feeling it last night and kind of playing around with it, and I felt like it's almost like seatbelt fabric, like really good thick seatbelt quality fabric. I was reading about it online, and it turns out they do use seatbelt fabric. So the stuff that you use, for in your car and stuff like that. So it's very strong. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear or anything like that. It does use the anchor system, which I do like, because obviously you can have it, for this strap, the slide, you can have it as like a shoulder thing, and you can slide the camera up. You can use it as a neck strap as well. There's like 3 different ways you can use this, and it does just use the anchor system. So if you want to take the strap off, it's just a click away. I like that because I'm a landscape photographer, and when your camera is on a tripod, you don't want your neck strap or any strap rattling against your tripod, potentially adding extra shake there. So nice that it uses the anchor system. It's great, really nice quality fabric. One thing I do like a lot about this is the design on how to lengthen and shorten the strap. Their designers need to be given a lot more credit than they deserve. It's very, very simple to shorten and lengthen this cable on either side. All you do is here, there's this metal handle, which you pull up, and if you want to shorten it, you just pull it. That's it at its shortest. Push that handle down. It's not going anywhere. If you want to lengthen it, lift that handle up. It's a little bit easier when you've got a counterweight with the camera here. You just pull it, then you push that handle down, and then you're good to go. That's it locked. And it's again on the same side. It's very simple, he says. It's very simple to shorten and lengthen this cable. This thing here is very well designed. They need to get a lot more credit than they deserve for that. It's amazing. For the bit that goes over your shoulder, it's a little bit thicker. It's quite rubbery. My only complaint about it is the edges are quite rough. They're very tough. They could have done with putting some rubber or something softening, something to soften the edges a little bit. Because I did find when I had it over my strap, over my shoulder rather, and I was using it as like a sling strap, and I was testing, you know, the movement of how it was going up, lifting up the camera and then putting it back down, which is very smooth, by the way. I found the strap kind of traveling up my shoulder and actually starting to scrape into the side of my neck a little bit. And I was left with a couple of red marks on my neck last night. Again, they went away. It's no bad thing. It will probably soften up over time a little bit, but it would have been nice for them just to add a little bit of an extra stuff on the side because it was a little bit tough. But again, for the most part, very, very nice. I think it's a solid piece of kit, something you should definitely look at if you want a detachable sort of strap. Very cool system. It's very small faults. Again, it's just the edging. That's really about it. That's all I can think of to fault this product. There's nothing I wouldn't say that's bad about this for the most part. Now, for the PROpad itself, I quite like this. I tested it out last night. There's a couple of different ways you can attach it to yourself. I'm not gonna, you know, destroy your brain cells here by me trying to attach it because you have to put it through your belt and stuff like that. You just have to trust me on this. I tested it last night. There's 3 different ways you can set it up. My personal favorite is, well, I'll show you, there's 2 different ways really that you can use it. You can attach it, you put the capture plate, the base plate underneath here. This is going through, you put this bit through your belt, pop that down, you lock this up, and then your pad is here, and you can kind of hold it like this, and then the camera attaches down that way. Personally, I didn't find that was very secure. It felt kind of awkward. Actually, one method I think is super secure is if I just detach this quickly. He said. These screws are very long. And what you do is, there's a little gap here at the top of the PROpad. You slide this in, push it all the way down, and then there's the hole here at the top of the pad with the screw thread. You bring that down, you lock the screw down, and then you have it attached to your hip or wherever you want on your body this way, and then you lock your camera in any which way you want. I found this to be very secure. I think it was the most secure method that I had seen for it. I actually tried jumping up and down. I have my camera attached with the 24-105 lens that I'm using right now. I jumped up, then landed back down, didn't put my hands anywhere near it. I wanted to see how it felt. It felt extremely secure. It didn't bounce or anything like that. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend you do that. Peak Design certainly don't recommend that you test this out by jumping. But it's very secure, very strong. I was very impressed with it. It's very thick. There's really nothing to fault with it. Personal opinion on it, I think it's great for wedding photographers. I think this would be a great accessory to have a second camera, or if you want to just lock your camera down so you have your hands free to do stuff. I think having a second system here like that will be a godsend for people that have, you know, 2 cameras and they have to sling them over their shoulders and it's awkward. So definitely look at trying out the PROpad if you are a wedding photographer. For me, I'm probably not going to use it that much. Occasionally I may use it when I bust out the 70-200 and have to have extra support on my hip with the big heavy camera, because I would not like to try the capture plate system on my shoulder, on my bag strap with the 70-200. I think that will be very heavy and very awkward. For the final thing, I've left this to the end because I'll be honest, I didn't test out the point of view kit, aka the GoPro kit. I don't have a GoPro, and my vlog camera, which I have here, doesn't work with it. I did have a quick test. Because the thread is so far forward on the camera, it didn't work when I'm trying to attach it to everything. So there may be a way for me to jank it around, but it didn't really work. So I can't really comment on the GoPro system. The only thing I do have to say, and I noticed it yesterday when I was unboxing it, was that all the bits are plastic, which kind of disappoints me considering everything else here is really high quality. You know, it's metal and hard plastics and like really thick fabrics and strong fabrics. Kind of disappointed me that they use plastic, but I guess they're using GoPros. It doesn't really need to be all that tough and durable. If you're actually attaching proper cameras to it, that's why you have your PROplates and stuff like that. So hopefully you've enjoyed these first impressions. Again, sorry I didn't have any genuine first impressions of the point of view kit. There wasn't really anything I could do about that. I don't have a GoPro to test it with. But in terms of all this other stuff, the slide and the clutch and the PROplate, and the PROpad as well, I'm looking forward to testing these out a little bit more. A couple of hesitations here, especially with the clutch. I'm probably going to be picking up the Pete Design cuff in the next couple of weeks because I really want to have that, because I think that's really what I'm looking for, is a way to switch out between having a proper strap and a wrist strap and being able to quickly attach and detach those straps as I want using that anchor system. I think is definitely going to be the way forward for me. So hopefully you've enjoyed this first impressions. I've been Crim McCormick, and I'll see you in the next one.